Alright guys, this is Folds coming to you with another plant shopping video. Today we are going to be going to Calloway's off of 121 in McKinney, Texas. So we're going to go and look to see what kind of plants they have after the holidays. So let's go take a look at what this space looks like. As you can tell, this is a bigger Callaway's location, and we are met with a lot of bromeliads, some Norfolk pine, and just tons of other large plants right over here. That's a cool looking Dracaena right over there. We're just gonna take a little walk around here. So Callaway's is a plant nursery that is pretty much all over the DFW metropolitan area. There are several locations, and as you can see, this is a beautiful Aglaonema Lady Madonna right over here. So they have a lot of different types of sizes of tropical plants, outdoor plants, but today we're just going to be focusing on the indoor plants right here. I know that a lot of people are coming to the channel just to check out the house plants, so let's take a look at these different kinds right over here. We have a variety of Dracaena right over here. I like going to Callaway's because they have a really good return policy. So if you buy a plant and you're part of the garden club member, if it dies within a year, you can actually return full refund, money guaranteed, as long as you hold on to your receipt. So I think that's a really cool thing, because as many of us know, we end up killing houseplants no matter how much care we do. So we're looking at this Aglaonema Red Cyan for $24.99. And as you guys know, I've been talking a lot about aglaonemas. I love aglaonemas. I think it's an underrated plant. There's so many varieties. If you guys ever look at these Indonesian Instagram pages with aglaonemas, you will see what I mean, because over the United States, we don't have as many of a variety, but over there, there's just so many cool ones. This is a string of turtles. I know that this plant right here was like a go-to plant for a lot of people. It was a very trendy plant about a year or two ago. I still think it is, but I'm not really a big fan about like hanging baskets or hanging trailing plants like this. I think it's cool to look at, but in terms of growing them, I'm not much of a fan. I don't have a lot of hanging baskets or hanging plants in my home. I actually have zero. I'm considering getting a neon pothos, but here is another cool Hoya with some sun stressing right over here. This is the Hoya Quintiana. I like this a lot. Look at the sun stressing. It's like somebody took a match and started burning the edges of the leaves. That's just as a result of like getting a lot of sun on a Hoya. So I think that's really cool. I don't have any Hoya in my plant collection, so this is another Hoya retusa. Really delicate foliage right over here. I think that's really cool. And then we have over there a Hoya microphyllum. This one is a Dracaena Jenny Craig. This one is a low light tolerant plant. I like low light tolerant plant, and this isn't bad at all for $16.99. Callaway's has some really fair price plants, and I love that about this nursery. I've been shopping at this nursery for the last 5 years, different locations. This one is an Aglaonema golden papaya or green papaya. This is a really cool one as well. I have this in my collection already, and you can see this is a happy one because it has a bloom. But I will tell you, if you have aglaonema and they start blooming, cut the blooms off as soon as possible because it takes away from the plant's energy. This is a really nice Aglaonema Red Cyan. This has a lot of red on it, and I find it interesting that Red Cyan can have a variety of variegation and levels of red. So it's a common plant. We see it often, but it's still a beautiful plant. This one is a beautiful philodendron red Congo, I believe. Yes. This is a huge one as well. This is one of those philodendron that trail up. It actually just kind of gets bigger and bigger and spreads out. So I like that type of growth. And here we have a Ficus elastica burgundy. I have one of these in my backyard, and in the middle of winter, I'm surprised that it hasn't like dropped all of its leaves. So we're going to take a look at some other plants right over here. I love the open space of this Callaway's and just the bright indirect light that all of these plants get. Here is a table of bromeliads. I still don't know why a lot of plant shops sell bromeliads. I don't know if there's a lot of plant collectors that sell bromeliads, but I'm not necessarily a fan. This one's an interesting plant right here. I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I still find it quite interesting that it is available at this location. I can't find the plant ID or how much it costs. Now, ficus shiveriana is very interesting to see these days, because about 2 years ago, like a one leaf cutting was costing like $250 to $300, and now it's become, common. So the moral of the story is, for those that are collecting houseplants, if you find like a rare plant and you can hold off for it, they will eventually go down in price. It is inevitable. All plant prices always go down. It's just a matter of being patient. And so we just passed by a bunch of ficus elastica. This one's the Taniki version. And I'm noticing that a lot of plant nurseries are selling like tree-like ficus elastica, where they're like hacking the top and then it's just promoting like branching. I need to be doing that to some of my ficus elastica that I have, so I can get more of like a tree bushy form. So this is a really cool one. I really like the ficus elastica. And then we have some more ficus benjamina right over here. Really cute, proven winners variety. And then we have a variegated spathiphyllum, a common palm. I like it. It looks very delicate, but I just really don't want to add palm into my collection. I would consider putting a spathiphyllum. It's just that they're super dramatic. Like if you don't water them, they literally drop their leaves and they look like they're about to die, but then you water it and then they come back. And here's my favorite, the Hydra helix. Just kidding. I always gaslight Hydra helix. It's because I really find the plant beautiful. I love the variegation. I love the leaf shape. It reminds me of maples. I love maples, but they end up just getting spider mites. Like unless you are spraying them down with like neem oil, you're giving them bright indirect sunlight, you're giving them humidity, you're giving them the right soil type. It's just difficult to grow this plant. It's like one of the most difficult plants to grow. And you ask any plant enthusiast and they will tell you the same thing, that Hydra helix is a difficult plant. Here is some common Monstera deliciosa. I would say about 4 years ago, this wasn't as common in terms of just the pricing. And now you can find them in big box stores, plant nurseries, online. You can just find them everywhere. This is a really cool Monstera Siam. Like, look at how huge these leaves are. I thought that these were like Monstera Peru, but these are called Monstera Siam. So I'm not 100% sure what the difference is. I'm going to assume that if you grow this up a pole, it would start to fenestrate, but this is really cool and it's super developed as well for like $16.99. That is not a bad deal. I am considering getting one of those. And then we have this Ripsalis palm. These are really cool as well. I saw some huge ones at the Plant Keeper Nursery. So if you guys haven't seen my plant tour of the Plant Keeper Nursery, you ought to take a look at it on the channel. Huge, massive plants. You would never be able to see these like 20 feet tall Ficus lyrata. Speaking of Ficus lyrata, there's a couple of tree-looking ones over there. I love these bright pots and they're simple. And obviously I want to take a look at the Aglaonema right over here. But let's take a look at this right here. This is an interesting variegated plant. I love those variegated plants, and obviously I love pink plants, and this is the reason why I love Aglaonema. There is a full table of them right over here, so I'm not 100% sure what the plant IDs are, but we'll take a look at some more Hydra helix right over here. And wait a minute, this is an Aglaonema I haven't seen at any Calloway. So I've seen ones with like pink stems and pink veins, but this one is like speckled with like white stems. So I think I might end up getting this Aglaonema. I didn't intend to buy any plants today, but that's a pretty looking Aglaonema right there. It's one that I definitely know I don't have in my collection. And it's only $12.99, so that's not a bad deal. And if it dies within a year, I can get my $12.99 back. So like, it's a win-win situation when you shop at Callaway's. And then we have some more Aglaonema here. Like, this is the one that I have. This one actually isn't one that I have either, but I don't want to buy too many Aglaonema. I just don't want to spend a lot of money. That's the problem when I go plant blogging. Like, I want to just blog plants, but sometimes some plants entice you, like this one right here. This is another Aglaonema that I don't have, I don't think. Aglaonema, the problem with it is unless you get the plant ID, they all look very similar. But there are some professional Aglaonema botanists that can just tell you the difference of different species. Like, all of the pink varieties all look the same, but they have very different varieties for sure. These are beautiful Ficus lyrata. So like I was telling in a previous video, Ficus lyrata used to be like the it plant. It was in everybody's interior home styling. Everybody wanted a Ficus lyrata. But as I've said before, they are just very finicky plants and very difficult to grow indoors unless you have a lot of bright indirect sunlight. We have some more Ripsalis palm right here. That is absolutely gorgeous. I've seen ones though that were much bigger at the Plant Keeper Nursery. So guys, if you haven't checked out that video, please check it out on the channel. You will be amazed how big these plants are. Like, if you think these plants at Calloway are huge, wait till you look at Plant Keeper Nursery. These would look like midgets compared to the plants that they have. But nonetheless, Callaway's always has some huge plants as well, and they're priced fairly. Like, look at these Monstera deliciosa. They are very good quality Monstera deliciosa. So we're going to go ahead and walk around and take a look at some of the other plants right over here. I like that there is a variety of plants here, although I will say today it's not nearly as stocked. I think that over the holidays, a lot of people went and bought some plants. And as always, they have these beautiful Syngonium potted plants right here. I think this is a Syngonium neon robusca or like Syngonium pink perfection. We have a bunch of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, marble queen pothos, and pearls and jade. I haven't seen any pothos and joy, and that's really elusive. And then I ended up getting an Aglaonema Silverado. I finally got the plant ID. This is an Aglaonema Silver Bay. That's pretty awesome as well. This is a very common plant, but for $16.99 for this size, it's not a bad deal at all, especially for Aglaonema. We also have another Aglaonema Lady Madonna. This is a very common one as well. I have one that I'm rehabbing and hoping that I can get bushy again. And then we have another type of Aglaonema. I've been eyeing this type for a while, but I have a lot of green varieties, so I'm trying to hold off on purchasing any more. But look at how beautiful that Silverado is, and then also the Lady Madonna Aglaonema. These are all $16.99, so these are very good prices. And then we have some orchids right over here. Now, if you think about orchids, I would tell you after big box plant shopping, Lowe's has the best orchids hands down. They have the most variety, even compared to like plant nurseries. Now we have over here some ZZ Raven. Look at how interesting the new growth is. It's green, but then it darkens to like a very dark raven color. I always find that interesting. I might end up eventually adding one to my collection. And then we have a lot of desert rose here. I think the blooms are yellow. Really like desert rose as well. I would like to make one into a bonsai. I think those would be really cool. And then I have to pan out again to the Aglaonema. Again, I always like to feature these. I always encourage anybody who's who's got plans to get into Aglaonema. I think we should like start a movement. And then this is a really cool Syngonium. It's either a white butterfly or a go glow. It might be a go glow. White butterfly tends to be a little bit lighter in color in the variegation. And then I'm not 100% sure what this type of Syngonium is. It's probably going to be some like illusion type Syngonium, but nonetheless, it's super lush and full. Love their Syngonium collection. And then we have some Philodendron Brazil. I will say Callaway's probably has the best Philodendron Brazil compared to the big box stores. These Philodendron Brazil typically have more variegation and they just look a little bit more healthy. We have a Philodendron Summer Glory. I've been seeing this a lot, and it's a pretty philodendron. You can see that there are some prominent veining right over there. And then we have some more Syngonium right over here. I wanted to look at this Syngonium, this pink Syngonium, but I love going to Callaway's on my day off. And you can see this is an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue. We have some Philodendron Lemon Lime. I really like this philodendron because it has these electrifying neon colors. I'm just looking for a fairly good price. I might try to pick up one at plant keeper, because this one's $29.99. I think it's a little bit expensive, but then again, you know, you think of like proven winner type plants, they tend to be expensive. It's like Monrova for like the outdoor plants, they're just a little bit priced higher. We just passed by a bunch of calathea. Here is some more philodendron, summer glory. These are beautiful philodendron, and we have some more philodendron here. So what I find interesting is that Calloway's is actually carrying a lot more quote rare plants. You wouldn't have seen this about 2 years ago. Like for instance, these are huge $119.99 philodendron pink, white princess. The variegation is okay. Like this one's pretty cool, but it's not as highly variegated, but you know, it's a mature plant at this point. Now we have a bunch of Sansevieria bird's nest, some Sansevieria whalefin, Sansevieria moonshine. I'm actually in the hunt to possibly get one of those for my kitchen. And then we have a bunch of like hanging air plants. This is a really cool little installation of plants. I've been looking at the Cebu blue, and you notice how a Cebu blue pothos comes, it starts to get bigger and bigger as it crawls up a pole. So I find that very interesting. We have some staghorn fern right over here and some more Cebu blue. We are now about to walk into these cute little pots right over here. I find terracotta pots. I tend to like using terracotta pots. And then this is a really cool plant as well. I have about 4 cuttings of these that I'm planning to grow, but look at how big this leaf is right there. I love the silvery foliage of this plant. So yeah, we have a coffee plant right over here. These are really cool, Dieffenbachia. This one's a fairly fuzzy one. And then we have some zebra plants right over here. We have some African violet. This one is a really cool African violet because it has some variegated leaves. Every time I look at African violet, it reminds me of my grandmother because she grew a bunch of them indoors as I was growing up. And whenever I visited her, I would see it. But yeah, the Callaway's right over here off of 121. It's not as stocked as the one off of Prosper, but look at these Monstera constellations. So what I'm noticing is Monstera constellations are now becoming very common. I wouldn't pay $89.99 though for this, just because the variegation isn't nearly as variegated. I should have got that one Thai constellation that was highly variegated at the Prosper location, but you know, sometimes you just have to have self-restraint, but then you also have to live with the regret if the plant you wanted isn't there. This is a really cool philodendron lemon lime, and this is one of those philodendron that like to climb, and the leaves get bigger as they climb up. Look at how stunning that yellow neon color is. It would definitely light up any room. So I'm in the hunt for that as well. I just like to stroll around here, and you can see there's some more Ficus lyrata. I like the potted up plant, the pots here, but I'm going to take a look at these Aglaonema again. I'm debating whether I should pick up at least one. I'm thinking I'm going to pick up the one that has like the white stem and all of that speckle. These pink pots are cute. I would prefer the pink to be a little bit more muted and not so much neon, but that's not a bad shape for a planter. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back here and grab this Aglaonema. It looks like something that I would be into. Look at the variegation here, and yep, I went ahead and picked it up. Hope you guys like this quick little video of Callaway's, and this is Richie of Grow Folds. I'll see you on the next video. Talk to you soon.